Hi, Beth Colley here from the freedomplan.info, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a movie that came out last year in 2012 that for me was the absolute best movie of the year. In fact, it won some Oscars. Um, it was a movie that I watched again on DVD called The Life of Pi, and I really, really loved that movie. I was reminded of how much I loved that movie. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the central message of that movie, whether or not you've seen it, because I think it's a metaphor for life, actually. So to give you a brief synopsis, essentially at the beginning of the movie, a reporter or a journalist, or he's more of a book writer, meets with an Indian gentleman in Montreal and says that he's wanted to come to meet with him because he understands he's got a story that will make him believe in God. So the Indian man begins to tell him this beautiful story, very tragic at the same time, about how he lived in the French part of India, and his parents owned a zoo. And one day his parents came and told him that they needed to move to North America and close the zoo down because they weren't getting any support from the government any longer. So his family boards this ship to travel across the ocean with all the animals, which they were going to sell in America, I guess. And tragedy strikes, and a huge storm comes along, and basically the boat begins to sink. So Pi, who is the main character, and the Indian gentleman that the journalist later meets, um, he winds up escaping, and he gets into a lifeboat. And in short order, there's another four animals from the zoo that wind up in the boat with him. So there's a zebra, um, a lion, or sorry, a tiger, an orangutan, and um, anyway, another ferocious animal. And within a couple of days, the only animal that's left on the boat is the tiger, along with Pi. And they managed to survive on the ocean for 6 or 8 months. I'm not sure the number of days, but it was a record setting number of days that he survived out on the ocean with this tiger. Anyhow, to make a long story short, he finally does get rescued, and he never sees the tiger again. And when he's being interviewed about what actually happened, he tells them this fantastical story about how he and this tiger survived together on this boat for X number of days. And they don't believe him. And when they really start questioning him, he comes out and tells them, okay, well, it was actually the cook, my mother, and a deckhand, something like that, that were in the boat with me, and tells a very tragic, very sad story, far less magical sounding than the story with the animals. So going back to modern day, where the journalist is chatting with this Indian man in Montreal about his story that would make him believe in God, the Indian gentleman says to him, well, which story do you prefer to believe? You have no way of knowing which story is true. And the journalist pauses for a moment, and he says, I like the one better with the animals. And if you've seen that movie, or if you decide to watch that movie, you'll probably say the exact same thing. And I really think that that's a metaphor for life. It's much sweeter, much nicer, much more fun to um, believe in magical things, believe that your dreams are possible, and to believe in God. It's um, if you're spiritual at all, you've probably heard somebody say at some point or another that they'd rather go through life believing in God than not, and I'm one of those people. So I choose. I choose to believe in God. I choose to have belief, and that's where the metaphor for life is. I think it's um, if you choose to believe in being able to achieve your dreams, or anything else, that it just makes life a lot more fun. Hope this was helpful, and if you'd like more information from me, you can visit me at thefreedomplan.info. This is Beth Colley. Thank you.